judge yourself. What is the relation of Islam and secularism? Does Islam allow secularism? Or is secularism for Islam? Can accommodate Islam? No, they are diagonally opposite to each other. Islam believes in the unseen, whereas secularism doesn't allow to believe in the unseen. So we must understand what Islam is. Islam is to accept Allah's authority as your Lord and to accept Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as Allah's messenger. I don't want to be a secular man, and so do I pray for all my Muslim brothers and sisters that they become believers, not secular men and women. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu wa nashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa nashhadu anna sayyidana Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu arsalahu bil huda wa dinil haqqi liyudhhirahu ala ad-din kullihi وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا فَصَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ تَسْلِيمًا كَثِيرًا كَثِيرًا أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. Today we are going to discuss a very important and interesting subject, that is Islam and secularism. There are controversial views on this subject. Some of us are very much for secularism, and they believe that secularism is not a threat for Islam. And some of us go even further to say that secularism is the best shelter for Islam. On contrary, there are many others who have an opposite opinion, and they believe that the real enemy of Islam from day one is secularism. Let's sort out what's the real story behind. Islam is an Arabic word, whereas secularism is an English word. To understand both of them, first of all, we'll trace them from their original meanings. Islam literally means to submit. That is submission before Allah as a slave, and submission to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a follower. Islam has been declared as deen in the ayah I recited in the beginning, that indeed in Allah's sight the deen is Islam. Now let's see what exactly deen means. In the Quran, in the opening surah of the Quran, that is Surah Al-Fatiha, Allah Almighty describes Maliki Yawmiddin, Maliki Yawmiddin, Maliki Yawmiddin or Maliki Yawmiddin, which means ruler of the day of reward. As deen literally means reward, return, as it appears in Surah Al-Fatiha, Maliki Yawmiddin or Maliki Yawmiddin, ruler or the master of the day of reward. Word deen is also used as a path, a way. like in Surah Al-Kafirun, lakum dinukum wali yadeen. You go your way and let me go mine. If this word is read with a fatah of dal, it becomes dan, which means a debt. In Surah Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah Almighty has used this word to convey the meaning of a law. As in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, we know that Yusuf alayhi salam wanted to detain his brother. But in the law of king whom he was working for, there was only one provision, that the one who steals can be detained. So Allah Almighty describes that Kazalika kidna li Yusuf. So did we plan for Yusuf. Ma kana li yakhuza akhahu fi dinil malik. As it was not possible for Yusuf to detain his brother in the law of the king. And when the word deen is used for Islam, it carries the meanings of the whole way of life. For Islam, you often hear another word, Arabic word, being used, and that is madhab. This word has not been used in the Quran, nor has it been used by the Prophet ﷺ in his ahadith. But this word is frequently used in our Islamic literature, but not for Islam, but for different schools of fiqh. The illiterate people, the general masses, yes, they use this word for Islam, but not the Islamic scholars. In English, the word religion is used for all the religions, and so is it used for Islam too. Now we come to the other word, secularism. I traced the word secularism too in the Oxford Dictionary, and I found that in 1960 edition of the Oxford Dictionary, religion was defined as belief in the existence of a supernatural ruling power, comma, creator of the universe, comma, who has given man a spiritual existence which continues to exist after the death of the body. Semicolon, ruling passion of one's life. But in a later edition, 1995, the first definition was removed and the second was amended as controlling influence of an individual. It's a very clever move. As emotions emerge from inside, more to do with the belief, whereas influence is always from outside. And religion, now in the secular world, is recognized to be an external control over an individual. Now we come to the word secularism. It's a combination or the addition of two words brought together. One is ism. Ism means ideology, philosophy, like secular, like socialism, communism, monotheism, etc., etc. And the word secular separately means worldly, not religious or spiritual. Worldly means related to this world, not for another, that means the hereafter. But when the word secular is used as a verb, it carries a different meaning. The confusion lies, those who are for secularism, they actually read this word separately, secular, and then they say ism. No. When this word is used as a verb, that is to secularize, it carries an entirely different meaning. And in Oxford Dictionary, in 1960 edition, to secularize means to reduce the role of religion in morality and education. Now we come to the word secularism. Secularism has been beautifully defined in 1995 edition of the Oxford as belief that laws and education should be based on facts and science, etc., rather than religion. Now, we have already learned what religion is. Now we analyze these two definitions. To secularize means to reduce the role of religion in morality and education. What is morality? To see what is moral and what is immoral. What is lawful and what is not. What is legitimate and what is illegitimate. This is called morality. That means to secularize means to reduce the role of religion in deciding what is right and what is wrong. Now, who will replace this? That is coming in the second definition of secularism, which I have just read to you. Now, look at another word, education. To reduce the role of religion in morality and education. What does this mean? One is the education given to the children in segregation. Muslim children go to the mosque and get Islamic education. The children of the Jews go to the synagogue and get Jewish education. Christian children go to the church and get Christian education. But in the school system of the state, influence of religion, role of religion will be reduced. And in secularism it has been defined more clearly. Belief that laws and education, now laws is very clear now, that is to decide what is right and what is wrong, what is lawful and what is not. And education, to believe that laws and education should be based on facts and science, etc. What does it mean? In laws, religion will not be the reference. Yes, facts and figures will be the reference. I give you a very simple example. Long ago in America, Prohibition Act was passed and drinking was banned. But what was the reference? Majority of the Americans are Christians. Yet Bible was not the reference. The reference was facts and figures. This much number of people die every year because of drinking. This number of accidents happen. This number of accidents happen every year because of drinking. This is the workload. This is the financial load to manage the drunk people on police, on hospitals and other institutions. Top secrets are leaked out because of drinking. The facts and figures were brought before the parliament, and in the light of those facts and figures, Parliament passed the Prohibition Act. Now let's see, what does belief that laws and education should be based on facts and science means? In segregated school system, any religion or the people of any religion can teach their children. But in school system, nothing which is not based on facts and science will be taught. And, in science, what does the fact mean? In the scientific terms, the real and factual is the only one which you can touch with your hand, see with your eye, hear with your ear, smell with your nose, and taste with your tongue.